The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
Welcome to the Ask Jay Janssen show. Today we're going to talk about motor vehicle crashes, injuries as a result of motor vehicle crashes. So I'm going to go to the audience. We're going to get some questions. We're going to try to cover a lot of ground on motor vehicle crashes. Do I have some questions? Yes, sir. Come on over.
How are you doing, Jay? Why do you advertise on TV?
Why do I advertise on TV? Well, I'll tell you. In 1983, I had my name only in small letters in the phone book. In 1983, say, just in the Peoria area, you had the explosion at Warner Homes that killed people, 36 people injured. You had the horrible explosion down at ADM, 4 men horribly burned, and you had botulism at the skewer inn, and I represented all of these people, 18 out of the 20 people injured at the skewer inn. So I didn't advertise at all at that time. Then the Supreme Court said a lawyer could advertise. Well, I don't do bankruptcies, I don't do divorces, I don't draw wills, I don't deal with estates, I don't handle divorce cases under any circumstances. So I tell the public what I do. If you're in the hospital, if you're injured, I handle those kind of cases if you're an innocent victim of somebody else's fault. So I think the general public, they have no idea. Of the 1,000 of lawyers that are in central Illinois area, they have no idea what these lawyers do. Some of them are pension experts. Some of them do only divorces. So I tell the public what I do. It's a narrow area. I don't take cases outside of my narrow area, and I think it's to the benefit of the public. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question, anybody? Let's run through it. Sir, talk to me.
Should a person give a recorded statement to an insurance company after a collision?
No, you really shouldn't. You have to your own insurance company, obviously. They want to know what happened. But the only reason the other insurance company calls you and wants a recorded statement is that they've got a list of questions made out by their attorneys. You answer one of those wrong. How many feet were you from the other vehicle when you saw him pull out? How far did you travel before you put your brake on? If you answer one of those wrong, even Jay Janssen can't win your case, okay? All right, good question. Anybody else? Yes, come on.
Hi, Jay. I was wondering, does a car insurance company have to provide you with a rental while you're waiting for your car to get repaired?
They should. Car insurance companies should provide you with a rental vehicle. Now, I'm speaking about the at-fault vehicle. Somebody comes through a stop sign, hits your car has to go to the shop. It's going to be in there for 2 weeks. You don't have a vehicle to drive? Well, they caused this. Why shouldn't they provide you with a rental car? Problem is, state of Illinois, you've got all these high-risk companies that write low-level insurance. They won't give you a dime toward a rental. Or they will say, when the case is settled, we will pay for a rental. And you're stuck out there using your own credit card to get a rental vehicle. You need us. Now, we never charge for property damage, never have. In all the years I've handled cases. If you're injured, yes, we charge 1/3 of what we collect on that, and we do our job right. You get a lot more than you get for yourself. But with regard to property damage, we get your car fixed. We'll get you a rental car, and there's no fee in that regard. Thank you very much. Who's next? Let's try to go through a lot of questions. Yes, sir.
So I've got this question. Does an automobile insurance company have to pay a claim on a vehicle that was stolen while it was insured?
That's an interesting question of law. Say you park your car at the curb, and the vehicle's stolen, and the person that steals the vehicle runs through the stop sign, hits your car, you got injuries or you got damage. It's a stolen vehicle. Well, the insurance company does not have to cover a stolen vehicle, but we don't take that as an answer. We find out, did the owner leave the keys in the vehicle? If they did, then they're negligent, and that's called negligent entrustment. Then you can go back on the insurance company of the owner. How many vehicles are actually stolen that are hot-wired? Very few. These thieves many times are on drugs. They steal vehicles where they see keys in that vehicle, and that subjects that insurance company to liability because the owner of that vehicle is negligent. Now, if you're in an accident with a vehicle that is truly stolen, then you have to go through your own underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage. And I'm going to talk about that in a little while because I'm going to tell you how to save some real money on insurance, because the insurance you're buying is not the insurance you're going to need. Thank you very much. Who's next? Yes, sir. Come on.
So Jay.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Yes, sir. So can an insurance company who has coverage for a driver, can they deny them insurance if they have
A card, like an insurance card. Okay. Illinois has compulsory insurance. Well, what's that mean? It means you're supposed to have insurance. How many drivers get a card, an insurance card, they pay by the month, and then they quit paying, but they still have the insurance card, and the company has canceled them out? Or how many people have a driver's license, they have license plates, and they don't have any insurance? They haven't even applied for insurance. We would estimate in Illinois 25% of all drivers in Illinois have no insurance. So you're going to be many times in a crash with somebody who's, it's their fault. They show you an insurance card and they have no insurance because their insurance either lapsed or was canceled, at which point you have to go through your own company for uninsured motorist coverage. And that's the most important coverage you can have. Underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage. We'll talk about that more later. Thank you. Thank you. Good question. Who's next? Yes, sir.
If I have full coverage on my car insurance, am I actually fully protected?
Full coverage. Who in the audience carries full coverage? Anybody here carry full? Look at everybody. Everybody carries full coverage. Well, that's the biggest misnomer in insurance. Full coverage. What does full coverage mean? Well, on an automobile, do you have collision? That would mean you would have coverage on your car if you're at fault. Do you have uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage? Do you have liability coverage that would insure you if you're at fault as to somebody else? These are all individual coverages. And on your declaration page, and I bet no one here, or maybe some of the pre-law people might have read their policy, but that insurance policy is 15, 20 pages. An insurance policy only has to say in an automobile situation, we cover this vehicle and anyone who drives it. Okay? The rest is exclusions. You've got 18 pages of exclusions, what they don't cover. So, yes, there's compulsory insurance in Illinois. Insurance varies in terms of how much insurance you buy. Illinois allows $25,000, $50,000 liability. So there's a good chance you're going to get in a motor vehicle accident with somebody that has minimum limits coverage. And if they have minimum limits coverage and you're in the hospital a week and you get an $80,000 bill and they only have $25,000, you're going to have to pick up that difference with your underinsured motorist coverage. underinsured motorist coverage, uninsured motorist coverage. That's the best coverage you can get, and that costs less than collision. You're not worried about the fenders on your car. You're worried about your health and getting stuck with a $100,000, $200,000 hospital bill. Thank you very much. Who's next? Yes, sir.
These semi-trucks are traveling so fast on the highway, and they cause a lot of accidents. I was wondering what rights we have against them.
All right. We have a lot of semi-truck crash cases. I go to other states, try these cases. Last year I was in Bentonville, Arkansas against J.B. Hunt. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas with regard to Diamond State Trucking. I went over to Texarkana, Texas in federal court. We're a family from Illinois. We're involved in a horrible crash. And these semi-trucks weigh 60 times, if they're loaded, what your car weighs. So you get devastating injuries. And they do drive too fast, and they drive too many hours. And you think they're driving a sports car. But they do have, if they're an interstate carrier, they have $750,000 coverage. Now, you sue J.B. Hunt, it's unlimited. They've got all the coverage. They've got 12,000 trucks on the road at any time. But semi-accidents, you need an attorney. We've handled these cases for many years. The investigation is something that's very sophisticated because they all have what we call a brain box. We can tell how many hours that truck has been operated. We get the fuel receipts. We know how fast it was going at the time of the crash. You got the panic stop. You have to have an attorney that's familiar with this kind of case. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with the Ask Jay Janssen show.
The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
Collisions involving big rig, tractor-trailer trucks, and motor vehicles. These cases are governed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Act. Contact the Janssen Law Center concerning your claim.
Jay Janssen, one name says it all.
We're back with the Ask Jay Janssen show. Automobile accidents. We've got a lot of questions today. Let's start with, who's got questions here? Anybody? Stand up. Okay, over there.
Is a person allowed to sue an insurance company, or do they have to sue the driver responsible?
All right, in Illinois, in our state, we have to sue the driver. The jury never knows whether the driver has insurance or not. And I think that's probably not exactly fair, but it's based upon the premises that you're the lady of justice. You don't know whether the person's poor or rich, whatever the situation is. So we don't allow the jury to know whether they have automobile insurance and how much insurance it is. You have to sue the person direct. But I would say in 95% of all our cases, there's an insurance company on the other side who provides a lawyer for the other responsible driver. Thank you. Next, anybody? Okay, yes, come forward.
Hi. If I receive injuries from a collision in the future and my doctor says I need surgery, is that something that can be claimed?
All right, yes, because look, first of all, many of these cases take years. But if you have permanent injuries, say you go to trial and you're 2 years in and you still need maybe surgery 5 years from now, or you're going to have disability 5 years from now, that one jury or the judge, if the judge makes the determination, compensates you for as long as you live. If you have permanent injuries, you're going to have them as long as you live, and the life expectancy table is admitted to the jury. So, very good question. So, one verdict for your whole lifetime. Thank you. Thank you. Who's next? Yes.
I was just wondering, Can the insurance company blame someone for their injuries if they were not wearing a seatbelt?
All right, that's an interesting question, and it's a case that our office took up into the appellate courts. If you're in a motor vehicle accident and you are not wearing a seatbelt, just think what the difficulty of the trial would be. You'd have to have somebody, a doctor, say, okay, this is the injury caused by not wearing the seatbelt, and this is the injury caused because you didn't wear or you did wear it, but that type of thing. It'd be so confusing. So we went to the appellate court, our office, and we said seatbelts are not the cause of the crash. The cause of the crash is the driver running the stop sign. So now in Illinois, at this present time, there's a law that followed our case that says wearing a seatbelt is immaterial to your damages. In other words, it's not a defense. Whether you've got a seatbelt on or not, that isn't the cause of the crash. It's the person running the stop sign. Who's next? Yes, sir. Come here. Okay.
I have a question for you. Each insurance company claims they can save you money on auto insurance, but what should you really be paying for automobile insurance?
All right. That's like asking what should you pay for drapes? What do drapes cost? You know, what do drapes cost? And I see these ads. Everybody sees these ads. We'll save you 15%. We'll save you more than this company. We'll save you more than that. Well, you have to have identical coverages. You almost need a microscope to look at your policy and then see if the policy coverages that you have are the same coverages that the other company would have. Sure, they can save you money if they go down to minimum limits insurance. Why, sure, $25.50. Should you have $1 million in coverage? Sure, you probably should, in liability, in uninsured motorist coverage. People pay a lot of money for collision on the fenders in their car. If you lose your car, or if you have some dents in your car, you should take the highest deductible possible, or not even insure your car for collision. But you've got to have high limits on uninsured and underinsured. If somebody runs into you and they don't have insurance, drunk driver, for example, you better have high uninsured and underinsured limits, because that's going to protect you. Don't worry about the fenders on your car, okay?
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Yes.
Can a person just call your office to report an injury claim?
You know, people call all day long. Sometimes, like tonight, I'm almost running out of voice here a little bit. I may talk with 200 people a day. And they call in and say, do I have a case? And then we get emails in the morning when I go into the office. Do I have a case? And they send me a little email on it. We never charge for any of that. We will call them back if we can help them. Yes, we do. But there's never a charge for talking to us at the Janssen Law Center. We're open 5 days a week from 8:30 in the morning till 5 at night. You can call us with your questions. Every case starts out that way, where somebody calls and then I say, well, I think you need me. Or sometimes they'll call and say, the insurance company offered me this. This is what, I just went to the emergency room. And once in a while, not very often, once in a while I'll say, you know, that's fair. You ought to take it. Thank you very much. Who's next? Yes.
Hi. What if I get into a car accident outside of Illinois? Can your office help with that?
Yes, we travel the country handling cases, mainly semi-crashes, because whole families are involved and the injuries are very serious. And if I don't handle the case, I will give you the name of a top attorney in the state you were in that you can contact concerning your crash. But yes, I travel all over the country on cases. I just had that case down in Texarkana, Texas, with a federal judge down there. Magnificent lady. I didn't think I'd get it settled. I flew my clients in. There's no way to get to Texarkana, Texas, by the way. So we fly in the morning. She comes on the bench and she sits down, gets the other attorney over. We're settling this case today. Wonderful judge. Every once in a while you get one like that. Thank you. All right. Who's next?
I have a question.
Yes.
I was
wondering, what if I was in a hit and run crash and the driver decided to leave the scene and was nowhere to be found?
That happens.
Yeah, what can I do?
Hit and run, they hit your car, off they go. Well, first of all, that's where you're looking for uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. The next thing would be paint transfer. We talk with the police, we try to find that vehicle, but most generally on a hit and run accident like that, the person that left is either intoxicated because they don't want the police to catch them and go to jail, or two, they have no insurance. So that's a real problem, you know. So anyway, good question. And that happens too often, hit and run type situation. Who's got a question? Anything else? Yes, way in the back.
Does Illinois have mandatory car insurance?
Yeah, compulsory insurance in Illinois. But that doesn't mean people, you can tell people they're not supposed to run stop signs. But do they do it? They do it. You tell people they're not supposed to speed. Do they speed? Yeah, they speed. So, yeah, they're supposed to have insurance. There's compulsory insurance in Illinois. But 25% of the drivers in Illinois don't have any insurance at all. And that's why you have to have high limits, uninsured coverage, and underinsured coverage. And those are the most important coverages that you can get, because it is that drunk driver, that hit and run driver that's going to collide with you, put you in the hospital, and you got huge bills. You got to have high limits, uninsured and underinsured coverage. Forget about the coverage on your car. You lose offenders on your car, that's nickels and dimes. You don't want to have stuck with $200,000 worth of medical bills. Thank you very much. Who's next? Yes, yes.
If a drunk driver crashes into my car and I'm injured, what are my rights?
All right. One of the things with a drunk driver, we have in Illinois what's called the Dram Shop Act. We can go back and we investigate these cases. We have investigators attached to our office, and they will try to find out where that drunk driver had been drinking. Now, if he's drinking at home, no case against the dram shop. But if he was drinking at a tavern, and that tavern was the cause of his intoxication, you have a case against him, and you have a case against the tavern. Good question. Thank you very much. All right, let's take a break for a minute, and we'll be right back. Ask Jay Janssen Show. Thank you.
The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
The most important factor in selecting a law firm is the historical success of that law firm. The insurance companies know the successful law firms. So should you.
Jay Janssen. One name says it all.
Jay Janssen is one of the most preeminent and successful lawyers in the United States, building his practice on integrity, tenacity, and protecting the rights of innocent accident victims. Jay Janssen, one name really does say it all.
The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
You know, the Janssen Law Center repeatedly hears from families concerning members who have been injured out of state. For example, at school, business, vacation. Consult the Janssen Law Center concerning your out-of-state claim.
Jay Janssen. One name says it all.
Today's program on the Ask Jay Janssen Show concerns motor vehicle crashes. And that involves automobiles, that involves many times farm equipment on the roadways of the state, and more particularly, it involves so often, and far too often, tractor-trailer rigs that are being operated beyond hours, far too fast, and are negligently operated, causing crashes on our highways. The Janssen Law Center accepts these claims on a contingent fee basis. There's never a charge to discuss your case. You can call us anytime between the hours of 8:30 and 5. You'll talk to an attorney about the case, and we'll determine whether it's a case we can accept, whether it's a case that we can help you with. Even if you have an offer on your case, we'll consult with you to determine whether that offer is fair from the insurance company. We travel out of state. We take cases in other states, because think of the people in the Central Illinois area that travel out of state on vacation, or they travel out of state for school or business, and they're involved in crashes in other states. So we do handle those cases. Many times we handle those cases in the federal court of the state where the crash takes place. So we do travel out of state. We do have investigators that investigate our cases. You just can't take the police report as the final analysis of what happened. We investigate and talk with witnesses, get witness statements right away, and proceed with the case on a contingent fee basis. We never charge anything for getting property damage taken care of on your car. That's never been a charge at the Janssen Law Center. And on subrogation, if there's subrogation from another insurance company, we give that money to you. The insurance company paid $10,000, your own company, we have to pay that back. Under Illinois law, we only have to pay them back $6,600. So we give the $3,300 to our clients. We've never charged on insurance subrogation. So if you've got a claim, motor vehicle claim, contact the Janssen Law Center. Glad to talk to you, free of charge. Thank you.
J. Janssen. One name says it all. The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
The most important factor in selecting a law firm is the historical success of that law firm. The insurance companies know the successful law firms. So should you.
J. Janssen. One name says it all.
J. Janssen takes on big pharmaceutical, insurance, automotive, and Fortune 100 companies. Some cases have resulted in changes in the law and greater product safety. There is never a fee to discuss your case at the Janssen Law Center.
The Janssen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
Deny, delay, don't pay. This is the motto of many, many insurance companies. You need an attorney that will stick with you through the end to bring your case to a successful conclusion. Consult the Janssen Law Center.
J. Janssen. One name says it all.